What up, y'all? It's your guy Dawson from D&D TV. Thank you for rating, commenting, and subscribing. Everybody who's donated, those of you all who will, you know I appreciate it. All that information is in the description box below. Make sure you go to my other YouTube channel, Dawson Speaks, subscribe over there, and hit the little bell next to the subscribe button so you get notifications when I drop a new video. Now let's get into this topic. All right, y'all. Now, this story is coming out of San Antonio, Texas. Members of an East San Antonio church continue to pray for two congregation members who were shot as they were leaving the Greater Faith Institutional Church after an event on Sunday afternoon. Pastor Rosa Wilson says that 24-year-old Rico Stewart was in surgery all night after being shot several times and that a young boy was also injured in the shooting. Congregation members said that when the family came out of the church and started to drive away, the gunman came out from behind a tree, walked up to the car, and opened fire. San Antonio Police Chief William McManus said, "All of the violence throughout the city is stepping over the line, but when you do it at a church event, that's pretty much unheard of. This is just uncalled for insanity that someone would be so brazen enough to do this on a Sunday afternoon at a church event." Now, I must admit, I had read an article, I think it was one or two articles about this church, and one of those articles was in 2019 when the pastor, Pastor Rosa, her daughter had passed away, and they talked about how not only her late daughter, but Pastor Rosa and the church, how they did many great things in this community. They opened up a cafe to feed kids in the community. They also spearhead the Martin Luther King March. So for this particular incident to have taken place at this church, it's just completely horrific. Now I'm going to let you all watch this video and I'll be back with the rest of my commentary. And you all know me, I'm Dawson, and I won't hold back.
Now at 5, 2 people, including a young boy, fighting for their lives after being shot leaving a church service yesterday. Good afternoon, I'm Deborah Knapp.
And I'm Aaron Wright. Today, the hunt for the gunman who ambushed them in East San Antonio continues.
Eyewitness News reporter Sue Kalberg is live off MLK Drive with how the community is coming together in faith to pray for everyone involved. Sue?
You know, Deborah, they say that the 6-year-old who was shot in this very parking lot took a bullet through the shoulder that is now lodged next to his heart. And the 24-year-old who was shot, he had so many bullet wounds, he was in surgery all night long. But the people here of the Greater Faith Church, they say their God is stronger than all of this.
God opened the windows of heaven and pours out a blessing.
At a noontime service, they joined hands and hearts in person and online to ask for a double miracle.
Double mercy.
Holding their children closer than ever and praying fervently for deliverance from evil.
Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy on this city. Give us that strength and that wisdom for our children, Father God.
All of this after what police call an ambush as the family was leaving church. Church members say as a car drove by firing shots into the air, a man ran up to the family car and started shooting. They say Rico Stewart tried to shield the others in the car, and he was shot several times. A 6-year-old was also hit, and a 21-year-old woman was grazed by shrapnel from flying glass. 2 other kids in the car, a 5-year-old and a 10-year-old, somehow managed to escape injury. The police chief says the hunt for the gunman will not stop.
We are going to stop at nothing to capture this individual.
I have 2 extra things for you. One is the San Antonio Independent School District activated their Handle with Care program. They're offering counseling to the classmates of the little boy who was injured. They say in case they need that help. And secondly, here, Wednesday night at 6 p.m., you may know this place. This is the place where the Martin Luther King March starts every year. It steps off from this very spot. Very ironic. They say, come Wednesday night at 6, be prepared to pray, but be prepared to work on solutions so this doesn't keep happening. Live in East San Antonio, Sue Kalberg, KENS 5, Eyewitness News.
All right, y'all, let's go in. Now, this is a tragic event, and I am praying for the victims involved for healing and wholeness, and also for that church community right there, the people who were in that parking lot or area who saw this. those people are going to be traumatized too. And I definitely think they need counseling, which is why I'm very happy that the news person said that for the child's school, they're offering counseling services, but also to the people at that church, I hope they get counseling as well, because there's so much violence that's going on in many of our communities that are on Martin Luther King Boulevard and Rosa Park Way and Malcolm X Drive, and Marcus Garvey Lane. And we don't talk about the people who witness many of these atrocities or different acts that go on in the community. And those people are traumatized, and some of them have PTSD, and we don't talk about that. So I'm definitely glad that the news anchor had mentioned something about counseling. Now, you all know that I am an advocate for people getting therapy and getting counseling and the help you need. But I also know that there are some people who need to go to jail for the crimes that they commit, which is why I'm happy to announce that there was an arrest made in this particular case. San Antonio police arrested a man in connection with the shooting at an Eastside church event on Sunday that left a child injured and a man hospitalized. According to police, detectives obtained several aggravated assault with deadly weapon warrants for Ronald Robinson. Ronald Robinson, 20 years old, was arrested on Monday afternoon near downtown San Antonio. After the shooting on Sunday, San Antonio Police Chief William McManus said he was confident that investigators had leads in the shooting case that would help them arrest a suspect sooner rather than later. According to a statement by the department on social media, the arrest was part of a joint operation between the TAG unit, East Safe, and the U.S. Marshals. Wow. Now, I am happy that they caught this guy and he is behind bars, and hopefully he will stay there for a long time. For someone to come up to a church and to wait on the church grounds for someone to come out the church, and then once they start driving away, you run up to the car and just open fire, and you don't care who's in the car with the person. This is just completely sad. In my opinion, they need to throw the book at this young man. As I look at his photo and look at his face, there is no remorse. Look at his eyes. No remorse at all. None. Now, I know some of you all, I get a lot of, the real sanctified people over here. A lot of you all want to start ministry and the Lord told you to do this. How many are you that the Lord is telling you to start a prison ministry? Huh? Go and help him out in prison, y'all. Seriously, because this look on this boy's face, I don't want him out in society, especially after you can walk up to a car full of people and do that. And people may say, oh, and on a church ground, oh, Lord, the world coming to an end. I told you all before that stuff you all throw out and throwing out scriptures in the church and all this kind. These kids today, not only kids, but people today, there's something totally different with people today. That stuff don't scare people. That does not scare people. And obviously, in this case, you can see it don't. This boy walked up on a church ground and just opened fire. Y'all be careful out there. Be careful. Please be careful. And again, like I said before, we don't know the relationship between the suspect and the victims. But just imagine, it happens so much now. We hear in the news, you're just riding with a friend or you're just hanging out with someone and someone pulls up and does this. And that could have been anyone. And I always go back to when I did go to church almost over a decade ago when I went to the church building, how sometimes the mothers in the church would need a ride, or, you'd take your brother, your sister, get him a ride home. What if that was the case in this particular situation? And whatever the suspect and the victim's relationship was, those people in the car, they were just collateral damage to him. I hope they throw the book at him. I do. I really do. Well, Dawson, he can turn his life around. He can get redeemed. Yeah, he can do all of that behind bars in prison. So go start your prison ministry. Go help him out. All right. Again, I hope the victims get well. My prayers go out to the church community there, that community in San Antonio. You all go off in the comments section. Let me know what you think about this story. I'm done. It's your guy, Dawson. Take care of yourself and each other. Peace.